Well, I'm going to attempt in the next 3 or 4 minutes to condense 6 hours of really intense discussion yesterday at Council down to about 3 or 4 minutes. So set your timers now and see if I can manage to achieve this. So there are 3 broad areas that I want to cover. Firstly, some internal issues, which I think you'll find interesting. Secondly, some issues that are directly going to affect the profession. And thirdly, some issues that will affect the profession, but will also be an improvement of the service that we offer for consumers as well. So on the first thing then, around some internal issues, we conducted once again the staff engagement survey, which I'm pleased to say there were some great improvements from last year. In fact, on all the indicators we can measure from last year, we have greatly improved in terms of leadership and management, and even actually the scores around relations with council have also improved greatly. Last year, you may remember the headline figure that 36% of staff felt they'd been bullied by members of council. This year that has reduced down to 16%, but still that is far too high. So we are working very much with council to make sure that that isn't an issue going forward. The second thing in terms of around internal issues is the fact that we really have, I think, started to get it right around the accountability of the operational board, also the audit and risk committee, and the various other kind of committee structures that we now have, to the point where council is able to operate much more strategically than it has done before, and perhaps get less involved in the minutiae of the detail, leaving that, and I think with some confidence, leaving that to staff and those various bodies to look after. And that does mean that we are delivering things now on time, to budget. In fact, I have to say, with the last few projects that we've been involved in, under budget. So I think that's an improvement in the way that we're doing things now than perhaps we did before. Second area then is around the profession. Now, there were a number of discussions yesterday around customer service and how we might improve that. There were some new regulations that we're going to table around registration process, and that will make it easier for the profession. People will be able to leave whichever address they want to leave, rather than us forcing them into one particular option. In addition to that, we also talked about the new My Account area on the login site. I think that's an enormous improvement. Already we have over 70% more people having processed their registration details with us this year than the equivalent time last year. But I must apologise, I'm truly sorry for the fact that those who interacted with the site in the first couple of days had a poor experience, and that was our fault, and I apologise for that. Now, from now on though, it is greatly improved. We also talked about fellowships and the consultation that will go out to the profession, and I think that will be really interesting to get your views on that. And also the Charter, which has come to the end of its consultation period, and we're now taking account of all the feedback we got. And in fact, I'm pleased to say, for example, that the BVA have given some very constructive feedback there, and most of what they have suggested we've taken into account. And then a fresh document will be ready for Council in June. So the third and final area that I wanted to pick up on was around consumer redress. Now, this is something that will directly impact on the profession, but also on consumers, of course. The vast majority of complaints that we receive about the veterinary profession are complaints that we can do very little about. They don't concern gross professional misconduct. Yet some of those concerns, perhaps many of them, are fairly legitimate concerns that consumers want dealt with. And in fact, coinciding with that issue, in 2015 there's an EU directive which will mean that actually when people consume services like veterinary services, they have to have the right to a form of alternative disputes resolution. So Council yesterday spent the afternoon looking at 2 alternative models for what that could look like. Either an in-house model that would be a kind of akin to the General Dental Council's model, or an independent ombudsman type model. And as a result of those discussions, we're going to go away, and in time for June Council meeting, we will then present a preferred option. So I've now been told I've been speaking for 4 minutes. So if you've been watching carefully, you'll know that, and I'm going to conclude on that note. So thank you very much for watching once again. I hope that's been useful to you. I'm really keen that I direct you also to the website, which will give you all the background information and briefing papers, and I urge you also to read the strategic plan. The Council is now much more focused on strategic issues, and the plan is really the template for that. Thanks very much.